I'm gonna go buy the car. I just bought a car. Okay, this feels surreal, but this is now my car and I'm just driving off with it. I bought a new car. I bought a new car and I paid for it in cash. I'm so happy, I'm so proud, I'm so excited to talk about the entire journey. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that this has been a long time coming. I've been talking about this for literally years, and I have overanalyzed this decision, and I finally made the decision, and I couldn't be happier. I've had my new car now for a week, and we love her. She's perfect, she's absolutely perfect. And I'm gonna take you through the entire journey, like literally the entire journey. From when I started test driving cars to finding out which car I wanted to get, to then saving up money, figuring out that I wanted to buy the car in cash, liquidating some of my investments, having the cash ready, being scared to spend the money, trying to find a used car of the one that I was looking at, finding the perfect car, test driving the car, deciding to buy the car, getting it checked out by a mechanic, buying the car, selling my old car. Like, we are going through it all. I literally filmed all of it. So I really hope that this is entertaining to you. I feel like it will be fun for me to at least look back on. And I really wanted to document this journey because I am someone who is very nervous about car stuff and I am not very knowledgeable about it. And before I started this process, the reason why it took me years to do is because I was a nervous Nelly and I was not confident that I could like successfully go through this process. And now that I'm on the other side, I know that I could do it again. It wasn't actually that scary. It wasn't actually that hard. The hardest part was like deciding to take action and actually like, you know, getting it going. Once I got it going, it was good. And then kind of near the end, it was making the decision to buy the car and then committing to that decision and being happy about that decision. I have footage from like months and months ago and I'm going to show it to you all, but I wanted to give some context and some like background info of if this is the first video that you stumbled upon of mine, like who I am and what the car search journey is all about. And then I'm basically gonna roll the tapes and you'll see me in real time go through this process and buying the car. So if you don't know me, I'm Melanie. No one really calls me Melanie, to be honest. I really just go by Mel. I'm 30 years old. I'm about to turn 31. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I work in marketing. I work at a marketing agency. I work specifically in social media. I am the director of social media at the agency that I work at. And I also do content on the side. So it's just like a bunch of the same. It's just social media content all day long. But I obviously love it and it's my career and that's what I do. I live with my boyfriend. We've been together for 5.5 years. And he was a huge help through this process, honestly. The car journey, okay, so I have been driving the same car, a 2003 Toyota Corolla, since I was in grade 12, so 17, 18, and I was very lucky that my parents bought me this car, and I drove that car until age 30. So I've been driving it for like, I don't know the exact year, I think it's 13 years. I think it's almost 14, and that car served me well. It really did, and it honestly would probably still keep running, but there was a couple of things. It wasn't good for driving in Canadian winters. I didn't feel very safe in the car. It started to feel like I was driving a toy car, to be honest, and it had like no safety features, and it just felt too small and too like flimsy to like keep me safe. Now, I don't know if that's accurate. It's just the way that I was feeling. You'll notice in this whole journey, like I'm really focusing on like my feelings, and sometimes feelings are not facts. I mean, most of the time feelings are not facts, but this journey for me was just very emotional, and that's why I tried to lean on other people for like the technical stuff, and because it was just like a personal journey for me. So anyways,
And then I was feeling as though my car didn't match my lifestyle or where I was at in my life. So again, I drove that car when I was in high school, when I was in university, when I was fresh out of university, when I was like into my career. And this was the car that brought me to like my adulthood, you know. And now I'm 30, I'm in a different phase of my life. I have made changes in my life and my lifestyle and have like a certain standard of living or like quality of life that just like, it just wasn't matching up. And every day when I got into my car to drive to work, it wasn't like a pleasurable experience for me. It wasn't like adding to my quality of life, it was detracting from it. And this is a very privileged position to be in. I do want to acknowledge not everyone can just say, I don't feel good in my car, you know, like I want to feel better. I totally get that that is likely not a universal experience. I'm just sharing my personal experience. That's the only thing that I can really go off of. So I just knew that I was going to make a change and I wanted to get into a different car. And I've known this for a couple of years. And so I started putting away some money for it. I didn't know at the time, like years ago, if I was going to like finance the car or buy it outright. And another like privilege piece is that I've never had debt. I've never had a car payment or any debt. And so I was very nervous to take on some debt, especially the way that interest rates are for cars right now. It's like 10%. And I'm really on my personal finance grind. That's the other thing that I didn't mention, but I am very interested and I love learning about personal finance. I do some personal finance content here on YouTube, and that's like a passion of mine. And the thought of having a 10% interest car loan was like not for me. So I decided to do a couple things. I decided that I wanted to save up as much as I could and also liquidate this one investment account that was my very first investment account that I got started when I was 16. And I've been putting money in there. I've had a job since I was 12, okay? When I was 12 years old, I convinced my mom to let me get a job at the farmer's market. So I've been like earning and putting away money for a very long time. And it's always been like a focus of mine. So anyway, so I put like a bunch of money into this investment account, and I also had a small inheritance go into that account when my grandpa passed away. We got an inheritance because my dad passed away when I was 6 years old, and when my grandpa passed away, his inheritance got split. Like my dad's inheritance from my grandpa, which he would have gotten if he was alive, got split between me and my two sisters. So I had a small inheritance that went into that account as well. And I decided this was the perfect account for me to facilitate this like life transition. I was like, this was the first account that I started investing in. I was on top of it as like a young teenager, you know. I got some money from my grandpa and like kind of from my dad, you know, and like these are like this car, again, it's a material thing, but it's like a major life. My therapist called it a transitional object, where it's helping me transition into a new life stage. So again, it is superficial, it is a material item, but for me, it was like more than that. And anyways, and then I decided to save up some cash on my own as well. And I was able to do that. Basically, honestly, my full-time job like pays my bills, and then I do some brand deals and like some content on the side, and that pays pretty well, honestly. If you're like, I consider myself a micro influencer, and if you do content or if you're an influencer, you know, like the money can be quite good. And so I've had some opportunities where I've had some brand deal payments where I'm like, okay, this is like going towards my car, you know? And so I was able to come up with a large sum of money, and I wasn't quite sure like how much I was gonna spend on the car. I didn't know. So I was just kind of like trying to get myself into a financial place where I had like options, you know, that like I had money that like I could use to buy a car. So that's kind of where it started. And then I had to decide, okay, what car do I buy? So the thing that I knew about what kind of car I wanted was I wanted an SUV, but I didn't want a big SUV because it's mainly just me driving. But I wanted an SUV because I feel safer in an SUV. I feel safer in a larger car, a little bit like higher off to the ground. And it was just, I just wanted an SUV. I was pretty set on that. But I wanted like a compact SUV. I wanted basically like the smallest SUV that I could find. So that was number one. I also wanted to buy a car from a brand that I felt was like trustworthy and reliable. And again, this is like me just being a total marketer and being totally like brand loyal, but I wanted to buy a car from a company that I like have had people in my family get cars from them, or I like somehow have like a positive perception of them. I wasn't interested in going to a car brand that I didn't know anything about and kind of taking a gamble on a car brand that I didn't know. So that kind of narrowed down the search a little bit. I was like, okay, Toyota, obviously I had the Toyota Corolla and it served me very well. So Toyota was an option, Mazda was an option, Honda was an option, and Hyundai was an option. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other car brands, but for me, these were like, okay, I could see myself getting a car from one of these companies. So Mac and I went to a couple of different lots, and the very first thing that I did was like, I wanted to get my eyeballs on these cars and I wanted to see what they looked like and what appealed to me, because again, I'm just a girl and aesthetics and the look of a car matters to me. And so before I went digging on like, you know, what's the safest and best car and most reliable, I wanted to see what do I actually like the look of. So we went to all of these different places, and at Hyundai, the Kona caught my eye. Compact SUV, I liked the look of it. There was a couple different ones and I didn't like the look of some of them. Like what I didn't like in a car was I didn't like it when it looks like a transformer. I don't like too angular, and there's just certain elements on a car that like I just didn't love. Like if it just looks like a transformer to me, I don't like it. This is so specific to me, but I guess when you're in a car search, like, you know, you get to figure out what you like the look of. So yeah, and then there was like lots of cars, like Honda had a bunch of cars that I liked the look of, CRV, HRV, all of the Mazdas that I was looking at, also really liked the look of those. But both Honda and Mazda, I was like, okay, for these like new models, like it's a little pricey. Like we're getting into like $50,000 plus, and I wasn't really quite prepared to pay that, you know? Toyota, I forget like what I liked or if I liked anything. I think I was like, I knew that Toyota would be like such a good reliable car, but I was like, I had my Toyota era. I'm ready to move on. Anyways, I was mainly like, okay, I really like the look of this Hyundai Kona. So we went to the dealership and I test drove the Kona, and they put me in a 2024 preferred model. So it was like the mid model. There's like essential, preferred, and then N line, and they put me in like the mid with like a bunch of like the trim, like a bunch of upgrades, okay? And when I got into the car, I was like, this is nice. Like this feels really nice. I love how it drives. I love how everything looks. It felt very luxe. I was like, oh no, you shouldn't have put me in a 2024, because now I want a 2024. So after that day, I was like, okay, well, if I want a 2024 Hyundai Kona, I'm gonna need $40,000. And that was a hard pill to swallow. The biggest purchase I've ever made in my life is like a laptop, maybe like $2,500. So at this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to save up a little bit. You know, I did a no spend month where I was able to put away a couple $1,000s, and I was like, I'm grinding to get this car. And I phoned up my guy. I liquidated my investments from that one account I was talking about. And I basically put together from a lot of different accounts and from a lot of different efforts and many years, literally decades, I put together $40,000, and it was liquid in my account. And it was that way for maybe 2 months because I was trying to prepare myself to like get rid of that money. I still wasn't sure, like, am I about to buy a brand new car? That was never really the plan. What I was planning to do was put together a list of cars that I'd be happy with, run that by like my boyfriend, my stepdad, and be like, are these good cars? And they'd be like, yep. And then keep my eye on like the used car market to see what would pop up. But when I test drove that Kona, I got hooked. I got a taste of what I could have, and I was like, how do I make this happen? So that's why. And the car wasn't $40,000. It was maybe like 33, but then plus tax, plus warranty, plus I knew there was a bunch of features that I was gonna wanna add. So I was like, to be safe, I'll do 40. But in those 2 months, I was like, oh man, like, this feels like too much money for me to be spending. I felt really uncomfortable with that number, and it's just so funny because I was the one that like made up that number. Like no one was telling me, Mel, you have to spend $40,000 on a car. No one was telling me that. I just made it up. I'm just saying like this was just the process, the chain of events that things happened, okay? And so what I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I want the Kona. I want to go and test drive some more cars so that I can kind of like know that that's the car that I want. So we did that, test drove a couple more cars, and I was still like, no, I think I want the Kona. So what we did was we went to Hyundai and I said, do you have any used Konas? And they said, I think we have one. And I was like, okay, can I see it? He was like, yeah. So he pulls it up, and the first thing I saw was it looked really nice, and it was black, which black was like my top color. I was like open to like black or dark gray or light gray, maybe navy, but like black was my top color that I wanted. So I was like, okay, check. He's like, this is a 2019 luxury trim. The 2024, like I was saying, it was like essential, preferred, and line, but in 2019 it was a bit different, and it was the luxury one. It had leather seats, it had a sunroof, it had remote start. It was like very nice looking, very luxe looking, and I was like, I like the look of this. And he also said it has really low kilometers. It has like 27,000 kilometers. And Mac was like, why so low? And the sales guy was like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look into it, because like that's very low for a 5-year-old car. And again, I don't know these things, but I learned later that the average person drives about 20,000 kilometers per year. And so that's very low. So anyways, I was like, can I test drive it? So I test drove it.
We're in my new car. Just kidding, it's not mine, but I wish it was mine. It's a 2019 and she's really nice, but the price feels too good to be true. So the guy is gonna print off the Carfax report and we'll see why it's such a good price. But we test drove another 2020 Kona at Toyota, and the car salesman, we didn't like him. He was skeezy. But yeah, do I look good in my new car?
You look great.
Thank you.
Felt really good, but I was like, what's wrong with the car? If it's so low, like what's going on here? So we go back to the dealership and the guy's like, no, this car is like a gem of a car. He was like, it was a lease. And I guess with leases, you have to take really good care of the car, because if you don't, and if you mess something up, you have to pay a fine when you like bring it back. He's like, it was a lease, then the guy bought it out, then he upgraded the car to a bigger car. And what I liked too was the guy bought it from this dealership and got it serviced at this dealership, and they had all the paperwork. No accidents, nothing. Like everything was like, the car looked brand new, and it was like everything that I wanted in a car, and everything else like on the records were like clean. And then I was like, okay, well, what's the price? And they were like 26,000. And I was like, what? Can I have it now? Because I was planning to spend 40. I was like, yeah, can I have it now? So I was like really excited, okay? So this was like, I was like, okay, I'm really interested in this, okay? So what happens next? So this was a Saturday that we went to go look at this car, and I was like, I'm very interested. Like, how do I like put this on hold, you know? Like, can we do that? And he's like, yeah, you just put like a deposit down. He said that someone else had it on hold for 2 weeks, but they never ended up coming back. So he's like, yeah, my manager said you can sell it. So yeah, you can put it on hold. I had to put like a $500 deposit. And I was also like, wait, only $500? I thought I was about to have to put down like $5,000. Okay, so he's like, yeah, $500. And I was like, okay, yeah, charge it. And then he's like, give me, so this was Saturday, he's like, I'll need to know by like Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, success. So I put a deposit. It's just a $500 deposit. So it's not, I feel like it's a commitment, but it's not that much of a commitment. But I'm pretty sure I found my car. I have to just phone my insurance to see what it would cost me. But it's a 2019 luxury.
Ooh.
Luxury, well, that's what it's called. Luxury Hyundai Kona, and it's got leather seats. It's got a remote start. It's like perfect. It has super low kilometers. I was nervous when we were test driving it. I was like, there's got to be something wrong with it because it was like too perfect. But it was bought at that Hyundai. It's been serviced at that Hyundai. No accidents. And it was sold back to them because the person upgraded the car. And so I'm feeling really good. And it's way less money than I thought that I was going to spend, that I've saved up. So I feel so much more comfortable with that number because the number that I originally was going to spend was way too high. So we're going to go to Earl's and get some lunch and talk about the car some more.
I was like, okay. The step that I wanted to take was I wanted to phone my insurance to see what my new quote would be for that car. And it was a bit tough because it was like the weekend, so I couldn't phone them. But then another thing that I didn't quite realize, because at the dealership they did give me a service report, and I thought that that was like good, you know, I was like, okay, great. But then Mac was like, you know, it's pretty common practice for people to get a third party like mechanic to look at the car that's not the dealership, not the service center from the dealership, just to make sure everything's okay. And I was like, excuse me? You're telling me I have to facilitate a mechanic to look at this car? So I was overwhelmed. Obviously Mac was gonna help me, but I needed to move quickly because I didn't wanna like lose the car. We are getting so close to buying this car. Eee! Okay, so today I had to let the salesman know at Hyundai if I was gonna move forward with it. And I didn't really quite realize, but Mac was like, oh, even though they did the inspection at the dealership, he's like, it's pretty common practice for you to do like a third party inspection. And I was like, oh no, I'm not the best with like mechanics and stuff. So Mac will help me out. But I texted my guy and I basically told him like, I'm still just getting my funds ready, but what would the process look like if I were to want to get it looked at for like a third party mechanic to look at it and do a pre-purchase inspection. I did a bit of research last night. So I'm still waiting to hear back. But in the meantime today, I'm going to phone my insurance company. I did do like a quote online over the weekend because their phone lines weren't open. And the quote told me that my insurance would only go up by $123 per year, which is totally fine. But I am gonna phone them today to kind of confirm that quote. So I need to do that, and then I need to go to my bank to get a bank draft. I transferred some money from one account to another over the weekend, but it said it would take 2 business days. I was really happy that when I logged in this morning, the money was there. So I just need to walk over to TD Bank. They don't open until 10. It's like 8:30 right now. And I need to get a bank draft. So those are the things that I'm gonna do today. I'm hoping that I hear back from the sales guy about the mechanic situation, and then Mac would help me kind of set that up because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, we don't have like a mechanic that we go to regularly. So yeah, I think Mac had like one guy that he said he liked, but I'm just waiting to hear back like what the process is, you know? And then I was saying to Mac, I was like, can I buy my car today? And he was like, even if you buy it today, like, you're not driving it off the lot today. Like, I still have to get it insured and registered and stuff. And I'm a little impatient now that I have my sights set on this car. And it's not like 100%, it's not guaranteed. I still, like, what if something's wrong with the car, or what if like something happens? I don't know. We're not there yet, but we're closer than we have been for the past couple of years. And so I'm feeling good, but I'm feeling a little bit like, okay, we've gotten this far, let's just like get it done, you know? But need to do our due diligence and make sure that it's like the right car for me. But I'm looking to purchase a new vehicle, and I wanted to see if I was able to get a quote for what my insurance would be. I did it online. I just sort of wanted to phone to confirm. Hi there, I'm just wondering if you could put me in touch with Eric. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll kind of get myself in order, and I'll give you a call back later today with more details. But yeah, I think I'm feeling good. I'm excited about it, and just a couple more steps, and yeah. Hi there, I'm phoning, this is a total shot in the dark, but I am looking to purchase a vehicle nearby your auto shop, and I was wondering if there was any chance that like today or tomorrow you had any space for a pre-purchase inspection of the vehicle. Okay, so I was able to get an appointment at the mechanic at Calgary Auto Repair, which is about like a 10-minute drive from the dealership. I was able to get an appointment for 2 p.m. today. So if it's okay, I'm gonna come by now and, or like, you know, soon here and be able to go and bring it to the appointment at 2. Is that okay? Okay, sounds good. I'll be there shortly then. Thank you. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm heading to the dealership to then take the car to a mechanic for a pre-purchase inspection. And I'm doing this all on my own, and I'm nervous, but I know I can do it. It's gonna be so rewarding when it's all over. There is absolutely no reason for me to be nervous. Everyone has been so nice to me, but I am nervous. I'm just walking up to the dealership now to grab the car, to drive it to the mechanic. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I have to focus on driving because I don't want anything to happen to this car while I'm on my way to the mechanic, okay? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I got an email from the auto shop and everything was green, so everything checked out. I mean, I'm gonna go now and just like make sure that they didn't find anything, but the email report was like perfect. So I just went and got a bank draft. So I'm gonna go back to the mechanic, pay. It's around like $200, I think is what he told me. Talk to him, make sure everything is good, then drop the car back off and then make a deal. That was so funny. The guy at the auto shop says, "This is a whip. If you don't buy it, I will." He said it was absolutely perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. He said, "That is a sick car." He said, "I've been working here 5 months. That's the best pre-inspection that I've done." So I'm feeling very happy with myself. He just like hyped me up so much. And I'm so proud of myself because I totally nailed it. I totally nailed literally finding a mechanic, setting it all up myself, bringing it to the mechanic. The mechanic was such a homie, was so nice, totally validated my decision. I did it all on my own. I went back to the dealership. I said, "I'd like to buy this car." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I'm like, I have the bank draft with me. And he's like, "You have it with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, let's get this going." Like, I am ready. I don't think that he was used to someone like kind of moving that fast, but I was like, no, like this car is like meant for me. I don't know what happened, but it was meant for me. I'm gonna go buy the car.
Baby, shine through and come and save me. I've been missing lady luck ever since she started hating. I've been waking up too early. I miss our crazy hazes in the middle of the night.
I just bought a car. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I spent an extra like $4,000 on a 5-year warranty, but to be honest, I thought I wasn't even qualified for the warranty because it's a used car, but basically because it had such low kilometers and the year of the car, I was able to qualify, so I got the warranty, the maximum coverage just for peace of mind. But yeah, it cost me an extra like $4,000, which I wasn't prepared to pay, but you know what? I did it. And I literally bought the car in cash. And I could tell that the guys were just kind of like, what is this little girl doing buying this car in cash? I don't know if that's what they thought. That's how I felt. But I'm so proud of myself and I'm so excited. So I pick up the car on Friday, so a couple more days. I have to get my insurance sorted, but it's like the car's paid for. When I was leaving, he like had the sold sign and was going to put it on the car. So that's how it went down. And then I bought the car and then I had to, like, I didn't get to drive it away because I had to change over the insurance. They took care of like the registration, the new plate for me. This calls for a celebration. So I'm gonna go get some cookies from Crumble Cookies. There's a location that just opened up that last time I was here, I like tried to go and it wasn't open, but I looked it up and it's open now. So I'm gonna go get some cookies for me and Mac to share tonight so we can celebrate.
Stars from different places and the phases we call love won't ever start to change with who you ever
I got the minis so that we could try 3 kinds. Yum, cinnamon roll, brookie, which I think is a cookie and a brownie, and chocolate chip.
We're on our way to pick up my new car. I'm so excited. I don't have much to say other than I'm very excited, and also kind of nervous because I don't like love having to interact with people, but once I get the car I'll be super happy. Like once it's mine and I drive away and I'm like, bye, I never have to talk to you again, kind of, I'll be very happy. Okay, this feels surreal, but this is now my car and I'm just driving off with it. I can't believe it. I'm so proud of myself. This is just my car now. Isn't she beautiful? I'm showing Mac the inside of my car. Well, you saw it.
I saw it, yeah.
Before it was mine. Oh, they said that the last owner didn't leave the manual. And they were like, you can get one printed for like $30 or you can just see it all online. I was like...
You just download a PDF of it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think that I need like a full manual, you know?
No.
Yeah.
So nice.
Thank you.
Sunroof.
I know. Yeah, he showed me all the buttons and stuff, and yeah, I still have to set up CarPlay.
What's your favorite button?
I feel like it's probably going to be the seat warmer in the winter, or the steering wheel warmer.
Good choices.
But I also like the knobs, how they're like, they glide. They're not like, they're like...
Yeah, I get that.
And then you know what my favorite button it might be?
What? Eject? Oh, yeah.
Because I
Power
had...
windows.
Power windows, because I had roll down windows. So there's a lot of... I have a lot of favorite buttons.
I love this.
Oh, you know what my favorite button it is?
What?
Start, stop.
Yeah, it's like, I don't have that.
Like,
That's unreal.
that is luxury. Okay, so I posted the ad for this car and I did not realize how badly people needed cars right now because it was up for 1 minute and my phone was blowing up and my texts were blowing up and people were offering like way more than what I listed it for. So I guess there's totally a need out there. I wasn't like planning for it to kind of like go this fast. So I'm just like trying to clean it up a little bit, but I do have a guy coming, and if it doesn't work out with that guy, there'll be plenty of people behind him. So I guess that's good. We'll get it done, but whew, fast and furious. Y'all want a car tour or what? Hi from my new car. This feels so surreal. I still have to figure out exactly what the right vlogging setup is. There's like definitely more spots on this car for me to set my camera than there was on the other car, but this is, so I got the car yesterday. Today is my first day really like with time to explore and enjoy the car because yesterday was just so chaotic. I had so many things in one day, including getting the car. And so today is a Saturday and I just feel like I can finally enjoy it. And it just feels absolutely incredible. I showed my sister and my nephew the car this morning and it was so cute. My nephew really liked it and he was like pretending to drive, and I'll give you a quick little tour just to show you around. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what it does and I still have to figure out some buttons and stuff, but yeah, new car. And then I actually, yesterday, in addition to getting the car, I also sold my old car, and I didn't think that it was going to sell so quickly. I put up the ad on Kijiji, and within 1 minute, my phone was blowing up, calls, texts, and people were just like incessantly sending me messages like, can I come now? Can I come now? I'll send you money. I'll send you money. I was not expecting that. So I was a little bit overwhelmed, but I was like to this one guy, I was like, okay, well, like you can come see it. And he came to see it within like an hour, and he like test drove it, and we had to do a little like negotiating, and I was just like, dude, I'm just trying to sell the car, you know? And he ended up buying it. He gave me cash. So now I just have a lot of cash. So I'm gonna go deposit this. So I feel really relieved that the same day I got the car, I sold my old one. Because I was nervous. I wasn't sure, like, the car still has some life in it, but it's like there was dents in it, like it's old, it almost has 200 kilometers. I just wasn't sure like how easy it was gonna be to like offload, but we did it. We did it. Okay, let me show you around. Okay, got my power windows, which we love to see because I had roll down windows before. Here's my steering wheel. We've got a heated steering wheel. I still have this like paper towel thing down here because I'm just like, might as well keep it clean for as long as possible. I like how like here it tells you the speed when you're driving. I don't have the car on, so nothing's really like lit up, but major key, love that. Here's the center console. I feel like this little thing down here is gonna be perfect because instead of putting my phone there, I'm going to like have a designated spot where I just like put my phone back there, and then it's out of sight, out of mind, not touch it while I'm driving, obviously. Some buttons, digital display. I already stocked up the car, so I have like some toiletries in there, and then I have like some cleaning stuff, a little snack. You guys saw me buy all that stuff, so I have that all set up. What else? I already have my sunglasses in here. I have a sunroof, which is iconic. I was not expecting to have that. And then it's a little bit hard to like show you, but here's the back seat. Another thing that I was able to get with the 2019 is leather seats. If I would have got a newer one, I definitely wouldn't have been able to afford to add on leather seats. They also have these like cool mats. There was a lot of like kind of luxury features that again, I wouldn't have been able to get with a newer car that I was able to get with the 2019. So honestly, couldn't be happier. Let me know if you want to see like the outside and the trunk and stuff. I don't really know what people want to see. I'm kind of just showing like the process, how it's been for me, and I know it'll be like super unique for everyone. But I do have to get going because I'm going to my mom's to show her the car. My mom and my nephew, my other nephew. So I am so excited to go and show her. So let's go. I'm driving my new car to work for the first time. It feels so good. I still haven't quite figured out my vlogging setup. You're a little askew, but I'm so excited. She's very dusty, okay? She needs a car wash, but I can't get a car wash because there was a water main break in Calgary, and we're supposed to be conserving our water. Like we literally are like not supposed to shower or like flush the toilet. So no car wash yet, but I will get one soon enough. And I just feel so happy and grateful. And this was like what I was excited about, was just the experience every day coming in and driving my car, and just like it's like a reminder that like I did this, you know, like I bought myself this car and I feel so proud. What's that sound? Anyways, it feels so good. Getting this car has fully unlocked something in my brain, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to properly articulate this, but getting into this car every morning just like makes me so happy, and I feel so proud of myself. And it's really like changed my mindset when it comes to spending money, because I've been in such a save, grind, invest mode for the last 10 years. And I finally made a purchase that is like increasing my quality of life. I'm now like, what else can I buy? Like, what else can I buy that's going to give me such a boost of like happiness and quality of life? And now don't worry, I'm not going crazy. I'm not going to go and like buy something crazy, but I just feel like I unlocked this new part of my brain that is like, okay with spending money to increase my quality of life. And I cannot tell you how valuable that is to me, because I have struggled with that so much. And I have been in such like a scarcity mindset and just like hoard and like save for a rainy day. And now I'm not saying that you should go and spend all your money because it's going to make you happy. My own personal journey is that I've had a hard time like letting go of money. And this has just been such a great experience for me to experience that. So we love that for me. It was like a necessary journey. You know, one day if I want to buy a house, I'm going to have to part with a lot of money. And so this was so needed for me, and I just am so happy, and I wanted to share that. I love my new car. I love her. Does she look good on me? I think so. Everyone has told me that the car really suits me, which makes me so happy, because obviously I chose it for a reason, and I'm glad that everyone thinks that it suits me. I just love it so much. It's like perfect for me. I love the leather seats. I love the like white stitching on the seats. I feel like it feels so luxe to me, especially coming from such an older car. So the experience of driving it is just wonderful. And I was saying to my mom, like, I hope that this happiness doesn't wear off. And she's like, it will wear off eventually, but ride the high while you're on it, and try to, I mean, this is what I'm saying to myself, but like try to maintain the gratitude for it, you know? I know that like the dopamine is gonna like decrease, and like I'm not gonna be as outwardly happy about it, but I wanna maintain like my gratitude for it, because it's such a life, it like honestly is a life changer. I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm a dramatic gal.
Once the money left my bank account, I was not nervous about spending that money anymore. I was so happy to hand the money over. And I think that I was like happy to hand the money over because I ended up buying it so under my budget. And this is like my advice to you, is if you're in this car search and you're planning to finance, or you're planning to buy in cash or whatever, if you start to feel uncomfortable with that decision, or if you start to feel uncomfortable with the price that you're about to pay, believe yourself, okay? Especially if you're financing and this is a monthly payment you're gonna have like for a long time. Pay attention to those feelings, because that's not a payment that's gonna go away. Like, you're gonna have that for years. And for me, I had to spend less. And I'm so glad that the way that it worked out, because I was able to get these like kind of luxury features that I wouldn't have been able to get with the 2024, because it would have been way over my budget. The other thing was that I was not anticipating that I was gonna have to pay for warranty on top of the car purchase. And actually I thought that the car wasn't gonna be eligible for warranty, but it was. And I ended up buying like the highest package for warranty. Now, I don't really want to talk about whether that was a smart decision or not, because I probably way overpaid for this. But as someone with like a lot of anxiety, and this was a huge purchase for myself, I ended up saying, get me as much coverage as you can and we'll just pay whatever. And it ended up being, I think, around $4 grand, like in addition to what I paid for the car. So I wasn't expecting that cost, but that was the decision that I made. Again, I'm not even going to talk about it because I can't give you advice on it. Like, they just showed me like different packages, and I phoned back to try and confirm. He said, it's up to you. And I said, okay, give me that one. And that's what we did. And hopefully it pays off. But if it doesn't pay off, I paid for like my peace of mind in that very moment. And money is so personal and emotional, and the great thing about your money is that you get to choose what you do with your money. Speaking of that, I am a bit like nervous to just like spill all of these like personal details about this car search. And you know, I know that people are going to be like, oh, like, why'd you buy it in cash? Why didn't you finance? And all I'll say on that, like, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do. All I can say on that was it was the right choice for me. Buying the car in cash instead of financing it, or leasing, but I never considered leasing. It was the right decision for me. I came to that decision years of research and checking in with myself and saving and investing and working hard, and it was the right decision for me. So I just urge you to figure out what the best one is for you, and then be happy with that decision. And other people might disagree with you, and that is fine, because it's not their money and it's not their car and it's not their journey. Anyways,
I thought it was only fitting for me to end this video in my new car. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has left such sweet, kind messages congratulating me on this purchase. if you're a regular vlog watcher, you know that this has been like years in the making. And so I just appreciate all of like the well wishes as if this is my new child. I don't know. Anyways, I just like really appreciate the support, and this was so fun for me, and I just like love how I was able to like document it. And if this is like the first video that you stumbled upon of mine, I'd love if you would subscribe. I don't talk about cars. I mean, I think that's pretty evident, but I do talk about lifestyle stuff, personal finance, mental health, all of these things that like were encapsulated in this car search journey and buying my car. And I think if you like this video, you'll probably like my vlogs, because I just like chat and really just like spill my guts to y'all all of the time. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you. If you're a regular watcher, you know that I love you. And this is a new era for us, and I'm really happy that y'all are on it with me. Okay, I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.